In today's episode of Dolly Designs, I will be making all of these earrings and some of these hair accessories for various outfits, some that I got on eBay, some that I found at the flea market, and others that I got on sale through American Girl's website. I hope you enjoy and stay tuned to see the creative process.
So I started with Lea's beach dress, which was an exclusive outfit. I already had the things picked out because it was pretty self-explanatory what I wanted to do when I saw these green shell beads, but they went right over the head pins, which I demonstrated there, which is why I added these little seed beads that were purple. I've had these for years, some of my first jewelry supplies, and I've actually had the green shell beads for a really long time as well. And here I'm just trimming down the wire and making it into a loop at the top so it can connect to the other piece, which I wanted this to dangle. I didn't want it to all be one solid chunky unit, which sometimes I'll do, but in the case of these earrings, I wanted them to have a little bit more movement and to differentiate these from other earrings I've made in the past that use these same green shells, which I got the green shells at Walmart in a $1 baggie years and years ago, and I have them in a bunch of different colors, and they're kind of my go-to for beachy dolls. So then I took a head pin cut off, like a little piece of wire that was extra, and I made my own eye pin, and you can see that I'm taking seed beads in another color, which is this lime green, and I'm pairing those with the purple crystals, and that way they're kind of alternating between green and purple because that's the main theme of the outfit. And then I'm just going to finish off by making a loop at the top so I can connect the little jump ring that I stick the earring itself through so it can be used on American Girls.
So this is Lea in her beach dress.
I made Lea 2 hair clips for this video, but I only filmed me making one of them. So I used UV resin in place of glue because I need to get new hot glue sticks. I think mine are actually expired because they just don't stick anymore. It's really hard to explain. They're very, very old. So I would put a little dot of UV resin on the clip, and then I would put my first layer down, which in this case I wanted 2 leaves, so I did 1 leaf at a time. So this was when I had both leaves. And then this is me attaching the flower, and I also attached a little sequin at the center of the flower afterwards.
This was an outfit that you could only get if you bought Lea and like as a package deal of some sort. I got mine on eBay, but these are the earrings I made to go with it. I really love these like shell-shaped ones. I have them in a bunch of different colors that I've collected over the years from the Walmart like 98-cent baggies. And I think they always look very beachy, and this lime green color was perfect with the lime green accents of her sandals, and they look kind of like shells, very like earthy, so I thought that they fit in with her beach vibe. But I also did add some hints of purple with these little clear crystals and some smaller seed beads. I used seed beads on many of her earrings I made to sort of tie them in together, and I've had those for years. And then this is the flower clip I made. So it's like a big metal clip underneath. I have a bunch of these from when I was in cosmetology school, so I don't need that many. So I'll use them for American Girl hair clips because they hold a pretty good section of hair and they're nice quality. So I did purple in a kind of like this white and purple flower because it matches the white and purple tie-dye look of her outfit. And then I added in some green leaves to tie in the straps and the sandals.
The next earrings I made were for the Western plaid outfit. I actually got that at the flea market. And I had some ideas of what I wanted to do. I picked out my selection of beads. Honestly, I wasn't so sure how I felt about these earrings when I first made them. So sometimes what I like to do is if I'm working on something, if it's earrings or a hair accessory or a doll stand or maybe like an outfit I made for a doll, which doesn't happen often because I'm terrible at sewing. But if I'm not sure how I feel, I'll sometimes leave it for a few hours or maybe even a few days and then come back to it and see how I feel about it then, because I think we can all be really critical of like what we make or We can feel indecisive on certain days when we're making things. So I was kind of going back and forth a lot of what I wanted to do with this outfit. And it wasn't that I didn't like the concept I did, it was more the fit of how dangly it was, but I did end up keeping it, and they grew on me. Maybe in the future, if I can think of something else where I get a charm or something that really inspires me, I will modify the earrings. That's the great thing about making your own doll jewelry, is you can take it apart and reuse stuff, and it's not a big deal. So I wanted to do something that felt very earthy, but used pops of pink, because this outfit has pink as the main focal point. I had these little brown beads that I got in one of those $5 tubs of kids beads at Walmart, and that's also where those big gaudy baubles that I already looped together came from as well, and those were actually the problem. I loved the color of them, but I just felt like they were a little bit too big, but I only had those two in that size. I didn't have size options. So I paired those with little different colored seed beads. Some of them were in like a bronze color to tie in the brown from her boots. And I decided to do like a dangly bit on these as well, where the bauble dangled at the bottom instead of being one big bulky unit. It might have been a little less long if I kept it all together, but I think the movement breaks it up a bit anyways.
Then we have the gorgeous Tenny modeling Western outfit that I got at the flea market. I even got the boots with it. It's just missing the belt. These earrings, they are really long, and I kind of debated about whether or not I should change them up, but I left them alone for a few days, and I don't know, they've grown on me. So for now, I'm going to leave them as is. But I used these really large baubles because they match the pink on her dress, and I added some smaller seed beads just to complement it as well. And the brown I was inspired to use from her boots, and I just feel like incorporating earthy tones into like Western cowgirl outfits fits that vibe.
So now we've moved on to Lea's Bahia outfit. I had my supplies picked out and a sample earring made because I wasn't sure if the idea I had was going to work with the pink fake stone bead I was wanting to use. So I brought back the green seed beads that you saw earlier with her beach dress, and I decided to incorporate these into this pair of earrings so that her collection A feels cohesive, and B, because this outfit has lime green detailing on the sandals, as you can kind of see in the bottom of the frame here. And they're really great. These seed beads are wonderful if you have a bead that's a little bit too large and slides over the head pin. Technically speaking, I think a lot of the beads I use are not for earrings. They are for like stringing for bracelets and necklaces, but I don't follow the rules, and I don't really see why it matters. If you can find a way to make them work, then do it. So yeah, they come in handy for that, and I actually used these like watercolor looking baubles that you can't really see very well on frame, but I've used them before on another one of her outfits, which I'll explain in the clip of it all done. So I had a lot of trouble with these fake pink stones. I got them for $1 at Walmart in one of those assorted bags, and I thought they were super unique, but I wanted them to dangle. It was really hard finding a set of those that were similar in size that could have a jump ring go through them, because sometimes the placement of the hole was just in a position where I couldn't get the curve of the jump ring through, and yeah, it was kind of tedious, which is one of the reasons, again, why I made a tester pair of earrings in the beginning before I started filming, because nobody wants to watch me try shoving jump rings through like 12 different stones.
Alright, we have Lea's Bahia outfit. This one's fun. It's very tie-dyed, and it's got these really cool sandals. So I made these earrings to go with it. I decided, because the shirt is so loud, but it's like a casual outfit, that I didn't want to do anything too bulky for her earrings. So I used more of these green seed beads that appeared on other earrings of hers. And then these like tie-dye looking ones, which are the perfect color combination that match her shirt. I actually used these same beads on earrings I made for her hiking outfit years ago, before I had Lea, when I got her hiking outfit in the sales section from American Girl's website. So I like them to kind of have cohesion in that way, even though I made those earrings a long time ago. I think it's cool that I still had some of those beads left over. And then these cool rock shaped ones, I think they look very beachy, and then the light pink color complemented the ombre on her shirt, and it just looks very outdoorsy. It was hard getting the little rock ones that matched perfectly because they're all kind of random shapes and all of them could be put through a jump ring, but I really like how they turned out. And then I made a very simple hair accessory here. I just used UV resin to attach some fake flowers that match the colors of her outfit, and I put little sequins in the middle because, again, I made a hair accessory to go with her pajamas, which I got years ago, and I remember I used one of these little sequins. So I think it looks really cute, but not too much.
So this is an outfit from Lea's Mix and Match swim set. I made separate earrings for each swimsuit, just because why not? I love making earrings, and I feel like even though they could get away with using the same pair of earrings, I just wanted an excuse to make a second pair. And I also, if I want to use both of them at the same time on different dolls, because obviously Lea's not the only one wearing this on display, then I would have earrings for both dolls to wear. So this was really simple. I was inspired by the flowers on the print of the swimsuit top, and I had these little polymer clay flowers I got at Michael's in the kids section. It's so much cheaper buying stuff from the kids section at Michael's. I very rarely buy stuff at Michael's for jewelry making, but I had a gift card and I went hog wild in the kids section. I did blue and pink flowers and corresponding seed beads, and I love how these turned out.
So we have the other swimsuit from the Mix and Match swim set. This one is really cool because it has these beautiful flowers on the front of it and on the panels of the bottoms. So that's what inspired these earrings. I have these polymer clay beads and they were the perfect size for dolls. So I did larger pink ones and smaller blue ones. And then I used the lime green seed beads to complement the collar and some of the lime green bits in her outfit. And I think that they look super cute and sleek.
So now we're on to the second swimsuit, which has this really cool fringe on the collar, and that's what inspired these earrings. So you can see I made a sample, and I have all of my little seed beads in the colors that match, so like a hot pink, dark blue, and that lime green color you've seen a million times already. I poured them out on little container lids. This is a trick my aunt showed me when I first started making jewelry way back in the day. She said that the great thing about using little container lids is you can squeeze them together and pour the beads back into the container they came from. And it also helps you space them out because these aren't all uniform in size. I tried to keep them as uniform as possible, but it's not always, easy to pick them all to match. So I tried to count roughly about 10, I want to say it was 10 beads each, maybe 13 for each strand. But what I would do is I would make the first strand for the pair of earrings, and then all of the ones I made after that would be compared to it. So that might mean, depending on the slight shifting of the sizes of the small beads, that there might be a few more or a few less on each strand. It was all about how they lined up, and that was what created the symmetry rather than the exact number of beads. So when you're making your own jewelry, sometimes you'll find that there's slight asymmetry depending on how you make a loop at the top, or if you left a little space before you made the loop, or if you used a slightly different sized bead. It's all these little details that you get better at as you make jewelry longer, but honestly, I still find that sometimes the earrings I make are a little bit off because I get so excited about making them and I'm having such fun picking out the colors that I don't always pay attention to the exact sizing, but I was very careful with these because I really wanted this fringe to look cool. I could have used cord. I had thought about doing that because I like to make actual fringe earrings from like embroidery floss or little thin cord, and I did have some neon colors, but I used so many of these seed beads for previous earrings of hers, as you saw, that I thought it would be a cool way to, again, keep the collection cohesive, because I want my earrings to accent her clothes and not necessarily distract from them. Of course, I know that they're gaudy and they're, my taste and not everyone else's taste necessarily, but that's what's fun when you make jewelry. You can do whatever you want in your style. It's for your doll and it's your vision. So I made all of the little fringe strands, and then I attached them to a jump ring. Not a huge jump ring. I did like my medium-sized jump ring, just because I didn't want it to be too large so that the jump ring would end up being the focal point. I wanted just enough space where you could see the little strands separating out, but not too much space where, like I said, the jump ring would become the focal point. And I did play around with the big jump ring first off camera. So there's a lot of like little finagling that goes on that I do not film because A, it's hard to get my camera in focus. I need to get a smaller like tabletop tripod. I apologize if some of this is out of focus because my camera doesn't autofocus. Like once you hit record, whatever it chose to focus on is like where it's going to focus. And my camera, when you zoom it in, it doesn't like to focus. So sometimes it looks like it's focused until I go into editing. So I apologize for that. But yeah, if I get a smaller tripod in the future that my camera works better with, I might be able to get better close-up so you can see more of what I'm doing.
So this is one of the swimsuits from her mix and match swim set. I was really inspired by the fringe of the top here, so I decided to kind of make fringy like earrings, but instead of using embroidery floss, I just used strands of seed beads. And these are again some of the same colors that I used on other earrings. So there's like this really bright magenta, this bright blue, and this neon green, and I think they work really well. And I know they're not practical for swimming if she was really swimming, but she's a doll, right?
I had a vision for Lea's meet outfit the moment I was researching her online to see what my doll was missing, and I saw the earrings that they made to go with like her accessory set. It was really hard to film this, so I just showed the steps of stringing the beads and then looping them, making the second loop, and you can see they're like two-toned, and then connecting them. And here I am making her hair accessory. I was inspired by the braided detail on her straps and belt, like her attached belt, but I wanted to pick up on other colors besides yellow. If I had had yellow cord, I might have used that. I actually bought this cord for earrings I made for Collins Courtney doll, but I didn't have yellow, and I thought these colors matched anyways, and they match a lot of the seed beads I used, so that worked out well. And I had this under a heavy lamp, the top part of it, and I made it double corded, so there's 2 strands of each color. I like folded it in half and made a knot, and then that's how I got the two cords. And then I just knotted it at the end and then connected the 2 ends. It was my first time making a headband quite like this, so the fit was a little off. So originally it was supposed to be like a regular headband, but I ended up using it as like a hippie style headband that drapes over her forehead, and I actually really love that unexpected twist. I didn't have flowers in the colors I wanted to match all of the neonness of the outfit, so I took these little white ones that I've used to paint before for other things, and I used acrylic paint and I painted them. I did orange in the center and yellow on the edges, and it looks like there's 4 flowers, but it's because they stack, so it's really just 2, so they're multi-layered. I did speed up this part of the footage. I just had to make sure they were thoroughly dry before I sewed them to the corded headband. And here's a clip of me sewing the flowers to the headband. I'd start with the bottom layer, so the slightly bigger flower. I'd stitch that on a few times, and then I would add the flower that goes on top of it. So like I said, it's double layered. And I used orange thread because I had painted the center orange and it hid the thread.
So this is Lea's meet dress, which I was very lucky to get on her. Although her underwear are wrong. They're Ivy's underwear. But at least she has panties. So I made her these beaded earrings. This was my first time actually making anything like this. Obviously, I've used these seed beads. I've had them for years. They were the very first thing I ever bought to make jewelry back in 2012, and they last forever, and I've used them a lot. And when I started making earrings, I would do like different shapes just by bending the head pins. I took inspiration from the earrings that are marketed with Lea, so to go alongside her. They're basically little seed beads and they're kind of in teardrop shapes, but they don't chain link together. There's like a big one with a little one inside. I decided to take inspiration from that because I thought they were really cool, but make my own twist. So what I did is I linked them together, and I did two tones, so they kind of like goes from pink to orange and then from blue to green to pick up on all the cool colors of her tribal printed dress. And I think that they look really cool because they're bold, but they're not super bulky. And because it was my first time making anything like this, I probably didn't do it correctly, but it worked out. It was kind of tricky to string these beads, but it worked out. So we have her headband here, which I took a bunch of embroidery floss and I double layered each color so it would be a decently thick strand. And it's kind of like a bit stretchy on its own, so I made it like a hippie style headband, and then I sewed these little fabric flowers to it, so they were extra sturdy, and I painted these so they came white. They're from a bouquet that I got at a wedding a long time ago that I went to. We won like the table centerpieces in a raffle thing, and I use them all the time for doll crafts, and I just painted these orange fading to yellow to pick up on the yellow because I didn't have any opaque yellow seed beads. That's why I went with these colors. I think it looks really spiffy, and I also wanted to do the roped headband to kind of incorporate from her straps and her belt so that like texture matches. And also she's got a lot of like crisscrossing on her sandals. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it all put together. Wasn't sure if I overdid it, but I really, really like how this looks.
I apologize if this footage is a little out of focus. I was having problems with my camera. So I had two different examples of earrings that I was deciding between because this was on a different day for different outfits and I was a lot more indecisive. I decided to go with yellow small beads instead of pink ones, the same color as the pom-poms, because the outfit I was making these for had yellow accents too, and I wanted to tie in more of the colors from the dress itself rather than focusing too heavily on the pink. And I really like how these turned out. They were really easy to make. It wasn't anything difficult to put together, which was a nice break from what I made for Lea, because those earrings I strung were kind of a pain in the butt. I definitely will be doing something like that in the future though, because I liked how those turned out. But I'm obsessed with these pom-poms, and I'm always happy to bust them out and use them for a different project.
So this is Lea modeling the World Traveler Peru outfit. It's adorable, isn't it? So of course, I mean, there are pom-pom details on the hat and shoes, and of course, you know, I had to use pom-poms. Now, unfortunately, I was all out of the tiny pink size. These two don't exactly match. This one came with a bead pack I bought at Walmart like many years ago. They used to have like $2 sorted packs of beads, and that's where my love of pom-poms began. And this is one of the ones I got from Michael's kids section a few years ago. They're pretty close, but I can tell the subtle difference. And you can see I went with the yellow beads instead of more pink because it picks up on the yellow of her skirt. I really like how festive these are. And then the little blue ones were actually from a pack I bought when I was making Lainey earrings 3 years ago. And they tend to photograph funny because they're so shiny, but they work really well with the color of this. I absolutely adore this ensemble, and Lea was a natural choice for it.
So I had made a tester pair of earrings for this outfit that you see here on Krissa. She looks a little disheveled because I hadn't tied her scarf properly or her head wrap, but I made the tester earring, and then I realized that the color of the beads that I chose was a little off, so I made another earring that was in the exact same design but with a slightly different yellow bead that I thought would match the scarf better. And you can see I'm putting them both side by side, and you can see clearly the ones on the left, the yellow is like picking up really neon green, so I ended up using the ones that I pointed to on the right. And here I am taking apart the earrings that I first made with the like lime green yellow highlighter colored beads. I'm just deconstructing those and adding on these little flower shaped polymer clay beads. So I got the flower-shaped ones from the kids' art section at Michael's with that gift card I mentioned before. And I love these. These are great for Barbies, and they're great for American Girls, and you can use them in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I like to make chain lengths like I did here, and other times I give them more of a stacked look. And the other small clay beads, the neon yellow ones and the blue ones that I ended up keeping, those were from a set I got off of Amazon. I do Amazon Vine, and I left a review in exchange for the product, and I specifically chose that pack because I thought it had a lot of really good sized things for dolls. I don't like to have like too many beads because it can be overwhelming, and I like to use up things as I go along, but I am really glad I made the choice to get that particular pack because it comes with a lot of cool colors that I don't have otherwise, and they're really good staples. And so this was a tedious process. It was kind of annoying opening and closing the jump rings, but I really like how these turned out.
Then we have Carissa in the Truly Me World Traveler Morocco outfit. Colleen keeps calling it Morocco. It's driving me crazy. People wonder why I mispronounce Barbie's friend Kira's name as Kyra, because who do you think told me it was Kyra when we were kids?
Now you're blaming me for your weirdness?
I do pronounce names wrong on my own though. Anyways, so
yeah, Shania.
I went with these little flowers because I felt like the circles were too neon highlighter yellow. They almost looked green, whereas this is like a nice golden color, and it gives more texture, which I think complements the paisley pattern of the scarf and the pants really well. And the pants have flowers. This is such a cute outfit. I had like an idea for this in mind before I had started making them, and I think that they look really cute without being overpowering. At least for me. They balance out because she's got like the head scarf and the scarf.
The next pair of earrings was made for the Relax and Refresh outfit that I got on sale. These outfits that are Truly Me were all on sale. Just like I got them with like the discount they're running site-wide, and I had rewards points. So I picked out some new outfits because I was really excited, and I ended up combining them in this video. So this was actually the most frustrating outfit to make earrings for. Not because I didn't see beads automatically that went well with it, but because I was having trouble working around the size of the like focal point bead, the primary focus bead, the statement piece, I guess you could call it, those big like gems in the center. My sister picked those out at Walmart a while back because she thought they were really cool, and I liked them too, but I knew the size would kind of be an issue because I could only use them for American Girl. So what you're seeing in these clips is me going back and forth between what kinds of beads I wanted to use because as I'll explain in the after clip, I was having a lot of trouble finding the right colors and the right sizes. But I finally settled on a choice after going back and forth a bunch. But I made like 3 or 4 different subtle variations because I just wanted everything to feel balanced while also tying in the colors that are part of this outfit because it's so beautiful. It was worth the fuss, but I was having a super indecisive day when I was making earrings for these outfits. I don't know if I just had so many ideas or if I was kind of distracted or what, but I like how the final product turned out, and I'm glad that I was able to I had enough beads and enough colors to be able to swap the sizes around, so I got the look I wanted in the end.
So this is Lea in the Relax and Refresh outfit. I love this outfit. It's super cool. It didn't help with the doll wearing it. It looks a lot like Jess, who's one of my favorites. But I went with these really, I know they're huge and tacky. Colleen picked these out at Walmart, and my only hesitation in buying them had actually simply been that they were so big. I didn't think that I could realistically use them on anyone but American Girl and their color palette specific, but it works out beautifully because this is like teal with gold embellishments and sandals, and this has all of those colors incorporated, and they're just really funky looking. They kind of look like crystals, which fits the whole, yoga vibe of this outfit. And then I added in like a little bit of pink to pick up on the flowers, and of course this really bright gold to complement the bright gold sandals. That was sort of my struggle back and forth, was trying to figure out the right combination of like size and colored beads, because I wanted some little ones, not all just chunky ones, but I didn't have any gold that were the right color in that size. So I'm glad I had some pink in the right color that were tiny, and I think she looks fabulous in this.
This Western chic outfit is another example of how indecisive I was on that particular day. So my model Raven had to try out 2 subtly different pairs of earrings. I couldn't decide if I wanted these opaque crystal shaped charms or if I wanted to use something else. So I made 2 subtly different earrings, and then I even brought her into the other room and asked my sister what she thought without telling her what ones I kind of preferred, and we ended up agreeing on the same one. So you can see that the earring that's in the frame here that's assembled is the one I'm going to be taking apart, but not entirely. I ended up going with like a fringy look using some longer beads that I have. I don't remember what these kinds of beads are called, but they look like little tubes, and I love them, and I have them in a few different colors. I bought them years ago at Walmart. I thought they were super exciting when I found them, and I actually don't have a lot of red bead options in my collection, but luckily I felt like these worked with like a western fringy vibe, and they matched the kerchief of the outfit. I did like the look of the crystal shaped red one that I originally put. I just felt like it didn't go as well with the vibe of the outfit overall, so that's why I made a second earring and chose that design over my original. But I think they turned out really cute, and they're not too bulky. They work with the kerchief, and they worked well with Raven's super short hair. She's adorable, but sometimes the dolls with bobs can be difficult to show earrings on because their hair sticks to their face.
The fabulous Raven wearing the Western chic outfit. I also made her this bracelet, which I meant to film for this video, but I didn't. It kind of was inspired by like the candy bracelets I've seen kids used to wear. That's why it's all rainbow. Anyways, it doesn't really match the outfit, but these are the earrings I went with. They have this like, I've had these black beads for a long time with the pattern. I thought it kind of picked up the like paisley on her kerchief, and then this also has like a pattern embroidered onto it. So I liked that there were patterned beads I could use, and then I stuck with like red and black. I didn't have any like deep navy blue like this, so it's so close to black I figured it would work. I had to use these like clay spacer beads because this one is so wide, it's meant for like bracelet making, that it would eat the bead below it and go over the head pin, so that's why there are those, but I think it works out really well. That's why these are so handy. She looks so cute.
It's kind of ironic because the last outfit I made earrings for was the pastel party dress, and I was so inspired by the different colored pastel tulle that I wanted to save this to last because I wasn't sure if maybe I'd break out my polymer clay or do something extra extravagant. But I looked over my charms and I saw these fairies that I bought at Walmart. They were actually in 2 different dollar baggies, and I thought they'd be great with the whimsical vibe of this dress without overpowering it, because there's a lot going on with this outfit, and I didn't want my earrings to take away from the outfit, but I wanted them to be fun and colorful, and I just so happened to have pastel colored beads that were all in roughly the same size that coordinated with the colors of her dress. So this ended up taking me like the least amount of time of all the earrings, because once I saw the charms and I saw that I had the right pastel colored beads, that was it. Like, I knew what I was making. There was no toying back and forth.
So we have the gorgeous Raymona, who's my Christmas gift this year from my Uncle Ray. That's Raymona. She is modeling the pastel party dress. This is so much fun. Now, I had some wild ideas for this, like polymer clay cupcakes or something, but I decided to go with charms because that way it would keep the outfit balanced, where it would still be ornate enough to go with the theme of the outfit but not overpower it. So I have these cute little fairy charms that I got in the dollar section at Walmart. They had like little bags of random mismatched charms, and I actually bought a few different ones, and I was able to make charms together for earrings, and it's way cheaper than buying the actual earring packs, because that usually is like an $8 affair because they only sell one of each charm in the pack. And you can see there are these little pastel colored beads that go perfectly with the pastel rainbow. I didn't have yellow, but I did have the other colors. And I got all of these in the Walmart dollar section too. I bought them for different projects. Like that purple one, I found those and I thought it would go really good with my garden party Barbie from my childhood when I got her original outfit. And then the pink and blue ones I thought would go well with Elizabeth and Felicity's clothing. And these earrings are even. Ramona's ears are just pierced unevenly and her head kind of cocks to one side, so that was my fault. I hadn't pierced a Pleasant Company doll in a long time, and her fleshy vinyl posed some issues for me, so this one's a little bit lower, which is kind of annoying, but she still looks so cute. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dolly Designs and all of these fun things I made. Maybe it could give you some inspiration for things you could make for your dolls. Feel free to check out my Dolly Designs playlist if you're interested in seeing other things I've made, like stands, earrings for American girls, and other types of dolls, hairstyles, etc. And I also have albums on my Flickr you can check out if you want to see just all kinds of things I've made that I haven't documented in videos. So until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.